Previously.
Atrocious. It bullies the back of my throat with a sizzling, no, a burning sensation that has spread through my entire oral cavity. That's what she said.
And now we continue. We take to the streets at a quick pace, Cyrus leading to wherever. I find it difficult to keep up with him though, and in more ways than one, my head is still swimming from the mention of war. What level is the war, do you think? You mean, what level do I think it will be? It hasn't happened. With any luck, it won't. Luck, huh? I'm thinking this could be something like a 4 on the scale. 4? Ah. Oh, gracious, 4 is 1 away from 5, and 2 from 6, which is terrible. 6 is very, very terrible. The worst. Very, very terrible. That's not good English. It's very, very terrible English. Even 4, though. A war without rules? Ah, that must be a particular that must be particularly gross. It is a very disturbing prospect. So disturbing that I grab my hair and almost shut my eyes. Why would you grab your hair? What exactly is this? What will happen? Test. What do you think? Is it really time for a test? Be appreciative that I'm even doing this work, Winter. He seems so much more angrier now than before. How irksome. Irksome? Did you say that? What do I think? What it could be? Well, first of all, Gabrielle would respond to Brighton's threat. Possibly. Possibly. Why wouldn't they? I'll answer that for you, because it might work in their favor to ignore it. I don't get that. Just think, Winter. Okay, just think. Wonderful advice, you. Ugh. Well, maybe they just don't care at all about Brighton, and they'll use this tantrum as an excuse to destroy them. That's nonsensical, I know. Keep pointing out how I'm a fish attempting to walk. That's right, Winter. You're right about why they wouldn't respond. How absurd! Isn't Gabrielle leeched on Brighton's back? They need Brighton, so why would they want to destroy it? Well, they wouldn't want to actually destroy Brighton. They would want to. What they'd want to do is invade and take away the little freedom and independence this country still clings to. Then they would be able to take advantage of its citizens in a way unprecedented. What a disgusting thought. I can hardly even imagine it. Alright, now, here's another question. Why does Brighton think it can take on Gabrielle? Damn it, Cyrus! I was about to say that. How should I know? The same way you knew the first answer. I was bullshitting. Language. Really? Now? There's a nuclear strike gonna happen. Sorry, sir. Thinking about recent events might help. Goodness. Is he trying to get me to think in the place of murderers? Those are boots I would not like to fill. I guess I have to, though. He mentioned recent events. I can't think that the minimum wage increase would embolden this country enough to believe they could stand against the obvious superior nation. Especially with how unimpressed the president seems to be about it. Even David was terribly excited. Oh, David. What was it that David mentioned? Their new army. The person I spoke with, his name was David, he said that Brighton had gotten a military recently to defend against the border country Feridia. He said that it's because Feridia is dangerous and ignores treaties. But isn't it far more likely that this army was actually created to engage with Gabrielle? With an actual military and what seems like a new kind of weapon, at least judging from how the locals reacted, then that would explain their confidence. I think. See, Winter, you are cut out for this. Huh? Wait, don't reference things I mumbled to myself before we came here. Creep. Then you understand the situation. Yes, but I'm curious. Isn't it more like a level 5 wall? Sorry if my voice acting is terrible. I don't even know how to differentiate the two. As Brighton and Gabriel are technically separate, I can't call what happens a civil war. Then it's technically just a technicality? I'd figure Brighton and Gabriel were still very close. Well, look at you. You're all calm. Oh, well, look at you. You're all calm. I frown with indignation. I'm not at all calm. This is essentially a level 5 wall. Well, you look at it. You look at it. I do not let up with my frown. I can see it over there. Well, that isn't all here. Well, that isn't all there is. How this might proceed largely has to do with what level I would give this potential wall. Cyrus stops, and I stop in turn. We are now in front of the fountain. It took me the entire time till now to realize the city streets are deserted. The doorways are even clear of those ragged children who would ask us for pennies. That's actually true. I haven't seen any people around. Could it be that everyone is listening to the address? Before I can drift off on this thought, Cyrus looks down at me. A nuclear weapon is one that can kill a lot of people and destroy a lot of things almost instantly. Excuse me? Honestly, Winter, what do you think I meant earlier when I said a lot of dying could be expected? I won't go into details, but it's not something you would have to be taught about yet. I've dealt with it before, though. You're lucky. I'm not lucky at all. Not even the littlest bit. Littlest slightly. Not even the littlest slightest. What kind of thing is that? Is it magic? Okay, that was high. This isn't a magical world, Winter. Thank the higher-ups you won't be going to those just yet. They're less fun than they sound. I should not be going to worlds with wars either. Point. You can check your codex for information about what we'll be dealing with, if you like. I need to contact support and update them anyway, so at least it'll give you something to do while you wait. What is it called exactly? Just nuclear weapon seems rather broad, like spear weapon or fruit drink. I believe that it's a fusion bomb. While Barnaby didn't specify, the rumor I heard supports it. Also, it makes sense, considering the reactors. Reactors? You forgot? We saw them when we arrived. This country utilizes fusion reactors for power. Ah, right. The looming and shadowy giants that stand on the distant steps. I remember not wanting to remember them. They were disconcerting. Like many other things here, they look a mess. And unlike many things here, they vibrate. And I thought they were going to violently break apart. Anyway, fusion bombs should be under weapons. Obviously, it's technically not pure fusion, but most worlds can only do so much. Not pure? Well, it's a limited reaction jump started by fusion. By fission. True fusion bombs are rather like man-made stars. Stars are beautiful. Stars are beautiful. Not the word I'd use for those. Just keep the distinction in mind and read that fusion bomb entry. Right. Understood. I mumble this as Cyrus turns away from me. and begins raising his watch wrist to his mouth. He suddenly pauses, though, and addresses me again. Oh, and Winter, while you're at it, check out the appropriate entries pertaining to this world. Always mind your codex, it could save lives. Remember to keep tabs on it. Understood, sir? I look at my wrist. Both of us are sporting bracelets which look very similar to stylish and thin digital watches. We have to regularly hide them from view, as we are advised that they are considered suspicious looking, usually. Hey, it's Cyrus. You guys probably noticed there's trouble at this world. Yes, well, more trouble. Cut the cutsy crap. This isn't the time. I'm actually... Oh, he's actually what? Exactly. Look at him. He notices that I'm listening, shifts a little, and walks out of my range of hearing. That's worrisome. I look back at my wrist device, my ICD. Interplanetary Communication Device. A name which doesn't actually cover all that it does. It also carries a database, tells the time, and probably 1,000 other things, as it is fancy. Honestly, if there is anything magical I have encountered so far as a student mediator, it is most definitely the ICD. Science magic or some such. It basically does everything. It's how we get to other worlds and teleport around them. And it can open up a tiny pocket dimension for holding things. An inventory. It's called... Oh, an inventory it's called. I think it's pretty cool. And it came from my own world. I would never have imagined. Right now I need to access the codex. I focus this thought. Open the codex. And the device recognizes the command, as it is linked with my mind, which is awesome. I wish I had one of those ICDs. A tiny holographic screen emits from the device in a rather inconspicuous fashion. Yet still, it's an acceptable readable size. Man, this would be awesome. Imagine if we had this. I would never have to study again. Not that I am studying now, but I never have to work again, because I just have all the information at the fingertips. I begin to navigate the database, searching for, well, let's see. Sewell, Brighton, Gabria, and Feridia. 2, I suppose. I think I'll leave Fusion Bomb for last. Ah, there we go, we can actually read. Brighton. Brighton is a minor society on Sewell, with strong historical and present connections to both Gabria and Feridia. A site of several rich mining deposits, it was previously a Gabrian colony, but gained independence 120 Sewell years ago. It also shares a large portion of its border from Fedria, and a truce has been signed between Gabria and Fedria concerning the treaty. Although Brighton shares its technological advancement with its mother country, it does not share its prosperity and is economically weak by comparison. The Brighton people are a hardworking and close-knit group, and tend to describe themselves metaphorically as ants. This society has not been visited. Until now. Wow, that's a shitload of reading. Okay, I'm not going to read all of that for you guys. Just pause and read, and then I'm going to go down. Go fucking down. And pause and read. Cool. And then let's go Gabria. Gabria is a major society, blah 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 blah, pause and read. System, blah blah blah. Personal security notes. Many species of fish of Sewell poisonous on Earth and... Okay. Whoa. Okay, so... Pause and read. Pause and read. And then the last little bit. Despite Sewell's occasional high levels of chaos, it has often not required mediation. And it considered quite stable. Still, caution should be taken while visiting the world. Nice world. Okay, let's go fusion bomb. Because I want to read this. No, this entry concerns fusion weapons, which are initiated by fission. For pure fusion weapons, see the entry on true fusion. Fusion bombs, also known as nukes, are highly destructive weapons fueled primarily by nuclear fusion. Their power ranges anywhere from obliterating cities to entire countries in a few moments. Due to this, their possession is often quite efficient in quickly silencing opposition. Stability is often reached, however, when opposing or multiple societies possess the weapons. Mutually assured destruction tends to prevent societies from risking anger from one another. Fusion bombs are also notable for their fallout, which will take several decades to dissipate. To expound, fallout is a result of a nuclear weapons detonation, fission, or fusion in an area. Since the resulting explosion is incredibly radioactive, its effect will linger long after the initial shock has passed, as the radiation will stick in the surrounding life and environment. Radiation sickness, symptoms, blah 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 blah, increase the risk of cancer and mutation in survivors' children are results of the nuclear weapon fallout. Although most systems refer to these weapons as products of fusion, it is not entirely true. While fusion is certainly a part of the process, the reaction must first be started using nuclear fission, an atomic nucleus, often that of uranium, splitting. The reason is usually begun with fission as due to the incredible energy and pressure required for nuclear fusion. For most societies, fission is the only method available for producing the required energies. If a proper level of energy is reached, the nuclear fuel, often hydrogen, will begin to fuse with itself to produce the new element, often helium. This reaction is significantly more destructive than that of fission, to the point that fission bombs are usually quickly declared obsolete once fusion is explored. The fission stage of these weapons is primarily contributed to the radioactive byproducts left by its destruction. Cool, resume. Alright, you guys didn't need to see all that. Certainly, this is amazing, I smile pleasantly in admiration of technology. Certainly, this is amazing. I smile pleasantly in admiration of technology. Yes, I agree. This is amazing. These wonderful things. Most unfortunately, my smile is very, very temporary. Most unfortunately, my smile is very, very temporary. As it turns out, the fusion bomb is incredibly horrible. It is a weapon that will detonate and destroy everything in a large radius while disturbing rapidity. What? With a disturbing rapidity, okay. In its wake, a kind of miasma so powerful that it sticks to the place for several decades before dissipating. It causes sickness to those who do not die, and greatly increases the chance of cancer and mutations in the children of survivors. Once again, I am affronted by the sense of unreality that has persisted since my introduction to Mediatorium. This is not even something you would read about in storybooks. This is not a thing that one can imagine. Why would you kill someone else? Why would you kill hundreds, thousands, millions? And what's more, with such effects? What does that accomplish? They said I would not understand for a long time. That it would be covered later on in my schooling. And that until then, I would not be allowed to mediate wars. I need to understand this now, though. It may go down in a matter of hours. What will happen if I remain in this foolish ignorance of mine? My heart thumps and my stomach twists. I put my hand over my mouth and squeeze my eyes shut. I am not the type to freak out, but I am freaking out a lot today. Winter. Come on, calm down. We'll make it through this and you'll be better for it, okay? I close my index and look at Cyrus, who has placed his hand on my shoulders. It doesn't look like he is. Where is it? The gesture does not help. For some reason, it makes me feel worse. My heart tightens and tears escape from my lids. I feel the same feeling that comes when I imagine how it would be if my dad were to die. Only the feeling is much more distorted and disgusting. I answer Cyrus with a warbling voice as my emotions are in tatters. I'm sorry, sir. I don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Winter, come on, hey, you're not stupid. You're a smart girl. I am. I'm incredibly stupid. You know it. You're just a bit hard-headed. It's okay. You're young, Winter, and you're strong, too. You're strong, Winter. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is weird. I raise my head and look at his face. Through my tears, I can see that Cyrus' cheeks are more flushed than mine. My own. He jumps a little as if he were startled, and hugs my head to his chest. His heart is beating very fast, and I clutch the bottom of his shirt. When he speaks, his voice reverberates through his body in a powerful way, so powerful that I even feel a little more confident. We will not fail. I lift my head and look at him again. He shivers and looks from me to the fount. I'll make sure of it. But only if you shape up. I'm terrified. I know. Okay. Let's finish this up, alright? I push away from him and wipe my eyes and cheeks. I feel as this is too much for me to take. It is hard to have faith in Cyrus. The further I go down the path of the mediator, the harder it is to have faith in anything. Still, I feel this is so wrong. Then I ought to stop it, right? Oh. Still, if I feel this is so wrong, then I ought to stop it, right? I should stop all of this from happening. I should stop this war, plainly and simply. I steel myself and stare directly into Cyrus's eyes, sure to convey my convictions. Sir? Yes? I am confident we will succeed here too. I am confident that we will succeed here too. I will make sure that we will not fail. That mindset is good, Winter Harrison. Hold on to it. It's easy to lose. Alright. Let's kill the president. My soul decides to leave from my chest. To flee from my chest. What? What? That's the obvious course of action. That isn't. No, it's not. That is the least obvious thing. Oh, and what's the most? Talk to him. Convince him that he shouldn't do the thing he wants to do. Winter, we don't have time for diplomacy. What? Mediation is all about diplomacy. No, it isn't. I shouldn't even have to tell you that. Mediators are simply neutral parties that enter worlds with problems, assess the situation, and solve the issues by whatever means necessary. Oh, so much to destroy the humble moment before. You really are scum. What? I look him in the eye, nearly snarling. What is it, sir? You think I'm deaf? Every student knows how you handle things. That's right, people talk about you. Everyone knows that you are murderous and cold. Ugh. And don't talk to me like I'm stupid. I remember what they said at orientation. I know that setting existence to balance is totally important. What? Yes, okay, that's totally important. I know how needed it is, but I thought we were more heroic than that. And I know how needed it is, but I thought we were more heroic than that. And I can't believe I felt confident because of you. Do you even hear yourself? We're just necessary. We shouldn't lower ourselves to that barbaric level. I'm really starting to tire of your lip, Harrison. Now listen here. Many in Brighton do not support aggression against Gabria, I've heard. That's only natural. War is a terrible thing. Furthermore, while their poverty extends far, it can be argued that the situation is for the best. Barnaby does not see that, though. He sees his own solution as the only solution. The people do not side with him. That is at least one issue that needs to be addressed. They must support him. They must feel that his decision is right. So I will kill him. In doing so, the blame will be placed on Gabria, and it should be clear to the populace that they have an enemy to fight. What is he saying? Was all that talk before to prepare me to accept this evil? To prepare me to calculate these deaths? For these calculated deaths? You're not asking me to support killing a man, are you? You're going to allow the nuclear bomb to be launched as well? Are you insane? I can't stand by and allow that. You've underestimated the plight of these people. For Barnaby, who has no real power, to wrest it from himself in such a dramatic fashion suggests that he is not willing to listen to reason. If we had longer than 4 hours, then it would have been perhaps... If we had longer than 4 hours, then it would have been perhaps... No, man! Fuck! If we had longer than 4 hours, then it would have perhaps been possible to change his mind. But like this, just forget it. That nuke will be launched. All we can do is unite the people before they go to war. We can still bring this nation into order. Order! Does that bother you? Stability is paramount, Winter. So cool your head. Think about this logically, already. Being a mediator isn't a thing of emotion. That's... What? That's only your opinion, and you're only one person. Don't act as though you know anything. I don't know a lot. But what I do know is that murder is the worst thing I don't know a lot. But I do know that murder is the worst thing a person can do. So horrible and disgusting and terrible that we don't even write about it, and it never happens. What? You rebel against me again? What? You want to rebel against me again? I don't know. I don't know if I should, because you're kind of right. It doesn't look like it. They're so tainted by the troubles. That is doubt. They're so tainted by their troubles that it is doubtful I could convince the president to stop this. Killing him instead, though. Oh, sorry. They're so tainted by their troubles that it is doubtful I could convince the president to stop this. Killing him instead, though. Letting that nuke go off, too? Could I even forgive myself for that? Yet we probably don't have much time. And from what I read and what I've heard, it seems that the weapon can be released very, very soon. When, sir? I need more information! No one says blast anymore. Are you saying that preventing the launch and the war is impossible? I mentioned before that, with luck, it won't be. With their president gone, and the only remaining leader being a backup, there may at least be a delay on the bomb, which could give us enough time to attempt other plans. The death of the president could also lead to Gabriel taking The death of the president could also lead to Gabriel taking Brighton more seriously, since it signals a dangerous level of civil unrest. In which case, Gabriel would probably unleash this nation completely before they even had the chance to launch the nuke. Alternatively, there is also a small chance, a very small chance, that Gabriel will give in to Barnaby's demand. In the likely case that none of these possibilities come to pass, however, you can still expect the relations between Gabriel and Brighton to proceed much differently from now on. Brighton's citizens will believe that Gabriel has a stranglehold on them so complete that they can kill their president less than an hour after the threat of aggression. Some will be in fear to rebel against such power, but many will be emboldened in the belief that Gabriel has gone too far. What's more, once the bomb has gone off, the citizens won't be afraid much longer. The fusion bomb holds unprecedented power here. Nobody understands it, not even Brighton. It could separate these two muddled nations and produce a new order. As an added bonus, once they see its power and grow to fear it, it's probable this world will never see a nuclear weapon launched again. Hey, that's like ours, maybe. Sadly, but I doubt that. If Barnaby were to launch it now without his nation's consent, the people would condemn him as a tyrant. It could lead to both a civil war and an international one. We need to make him a martyr, a hero in death. He will be a sacrificial symbol of Brighton's loyalty, and the people will follow him posthumously. Gracious, he seems so sure of himself. Would this really be for the best? Would this bring about order? Shmya. Ha! What should I do? Why did you ha? Oh, we got a choice now. Oh, this is really cool. We can either choose to follow Cirrus or rebel. What do you guys think? You know, the problem is with this is you're kind of like weighing up quite a lot of options right here, and I really don't know. I mean, are we really asking ourselves, is it okay to kill a president? And yet, yes, we are. So I mean, Cyrus made a really good point. I believe politically it's the right choice to make. But I don't know about launching the nuke. I mean, that's a fucking hectic move right there. I'm gonna trust Cyrus for now. And we'll see what the end result is. So let's go with, because I don't believe that there's a better way. Fine. I refuse to invest any more heart into this. This is out of my hands. I'm just here to watch, yeah? Then that's what I'll do. If Cyrus wants to go around murdering people and being a terrible person, then I guess that's his prerogative. I'll just consider this an example how not to be a proper mediator. Oh. This is all we can do, Winter. Yes, whatever. I must say that the thing I hate the most about this is that he isn't entirely wrong. Not about the murdering, that's definitely wrong, and I agree with that. No question. It's just that I really don't know anything. Cyrus is a mentor, and he's been doing this for a while. Evidently, from the candor in his voice, he's good at it too. Even if I took the lead, in the face of my inexperience, anything I suggest is likely to fail. This is just so fucking frustrating. Winter. Snort. I will follow you, but I hope you know that I won't be killing anyone. This is your blood-stained proposal, not mine. I'll watch, but I won't help. That's all you're here for. That's right. I am only here to watch and learn. That's all. As such, I stop talking and just stare at him instead. We need to find a library. Is that so? We need to find out where the president is. We visited this world before, but not this country. We don't know where their government's office is, or even if that's where the president will be. We need to learn more, and quickly. This feels like a lecture. Wait here. He turns and runs off to a woman passing by. One of several women and men who seem to have begun filling the streets as the president's address assumedly ends. Well, okay. I didn't exactly have the urge to flee just now or anything, although I wouldn't mind going home and ignoring all this. Demanding a withdrawal is a failure, though. Demanding a withdrawal is a failure, though, so I will stick with it. Granted, I'm sure there would be an exception for the situation as unique as this, but no. I have to see this through. I ought to see this through. I turn my attention back to my mentor, who has finally reached the woman. Until she notices him, he is wearing an expression so stern that I'm sure it would stun her. But after that point, she is met with a bright face and a smile. He began talking to her amiably outside. He begins talking with her amiably outside of my earshot, and I stop paying attention to him. And I stop paying him any mind. Something about that high charisma of his disgusts me. Perhaps it is basely manipulative anger from which he ultimately approaches everything. Ends justifying means, the need of the many over the few, various ridiculous philosophies. Even for having to be around him, I feel gross and dirtied. Worse for being associated with him, and especially worse for letting him do what he wants. Well, you didn't. I did. Shut up. My choice. But, right, of course, I shouldn't let any of that bother me. Just as he said, my job here is to watch. This isn't my responsibility. Distance from him now, I start feeling much calmer than before, and when he returns, I have settled down enough to feel oddly impassive about the whole situation. I just asked for directions. There's a library close by. Come on, we're running. With that, he takes off in a sprint. Clearly slower than his true pace, I would guess. With that, he takes off in a sprint. Clearly slower than his true pace, I would guess for my benefit. For a second, I contemplate walking, but I reason promptly that there's no point in making matters any worse. I follow. Fast enough. Okay, that's gonna call it for the end of that. I don't know what you guys think about the choice that I made. I don't know if you guys agree with it. But yeah, just let me know in the comments. Primarily, I'm interested in what you guys think of using violence as a means of an end. I mean, killing the president, creating him into a martyr, all of that kind of stuff. We see that every day in our wars of terror and in the past, in the history. People have stood up and fought for themselves. So, yeah, just let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that I'm reading better. I don't think I am, but I hope that I am. And yeah, see you in the next episode.